Right? All right, we're on.
Live from Team Solidarity, I am Sophie Stock, and my superpower includes being honest and creative thinking.
My name is Javaris Hart. My superpowers include organization, work ethic, and confidence.
I'm Marissa Romadelli, and my superpowers include also organization and noticing patterns.
I'm Melissa Ray, and my superpower is my ability to plan well, and I'm very detail-oriented.
Here in this Design Swarm workshop hosted by Surya, a tenured professor at Illinois University, also the CEO of Authentic Design, who hosts these workshops across the country and for major corporations. Our prompt for this workshop was combating the meningitis outbreak in Burkina Faso. Our prompt as well was to see through the eyes of the user. We have done research on the issue and have found that Amadou is a 13-year-old boy in a family of 6 who lives in a hut in rural Burkina Faso. He is a goat herder. His siblings go to school, and he does not have access to clean water or medical treatment. We have gone into his mindset to find what is he looking for in order to be healthy and to support his family. And we have narrowed down on a design goal, which is that we must ensure that the vaccine is effective when it reaches someone who lives in a remote rural area and accesses most things by walking. So by going through a whirlwind of ideas, of distribution possibilities, we found that a relay system of people with insulated backpacks that move vaccines from the capital to rural areas. Our story of how our product, of how our idea can be put to practical application is that at first Amadou was out working in the field, herding goats for his family. His siblings returned from school and discussed how meningitis is a very infectious, deadly bacteria. He fears for his mortality and wonders if he gets sick, he will die. But worry not, his mother takes the trip to the local water well and brings back vaccines. The entire family is inoculated with protective antibodies from meningitis, and he learns that vaccines can be distributed through a plane and through insulated backpacks which can be traveled on foot or bicycle or motorbike or horse or car or bus. Furthermore, Amadou learns that if he returns the insulated container, he can get compensation. He got a job. Another way to support his family, which is more lucrative than herding goats. With this job, he buys a cow, which leads his family to prosperity. Thank you.
I have a question for you. Are we presenting just the storyline, or are we presenting like the
Start to
whole?
finish.
Well, when you don't, you are presenting in detail. When you don't, the questions will bring out that, because we want to know some of the technicalities behind the backpack and so on. So that's where the Q&A is.
Okay.
So I encourage you to present out the technical details as well.
Sure.
Right? So this is where I've got a question. So tell us a little bit more about the backpack.
Well, it's powered by witchcraft.
So we've been looking at different options for what we would put in this backpack so everything from an insulated lining to the backpack based on like the styrofoam, like the same sort of insulation you might use in the house or something like that, to just using like an ice-based cooler made into a backpack, to the sand refrigerator type of thing, because if you can make that with just a set of flower pots or even with a set of plastic buckets, you can scale that down to be small enough to carry around.
Okay, got it. And what is the advantage of a backpack system over a traditional transportation system? How and why did you settle on that?
Well, it's very cheap, and it's very effective in the sense that, backpacks are easily carryable by most people, and so that makes them more accessible to the general population. In addition to that, you can use the local people as a vector of their own vaccine, and so that provides them a job. It can get to places that are typically inaccessible by other vehicles, and it contributes to the local economy.
Got it.
So through your research, did you find out why they don't do this anyway?
They need money. I think definitely there might be a financial
backpack, we would design would be cheaper than what you actually find on the market now. I did look at backpacks that are already refrigerated, and they're like $100, $200. And for us to make this be more large scale, we would want something that's gonna cost $5, $10 at the most. So if we were gonna put this plan into action, we would be researching how to make this, how to scale down the cost of these backpacks significantly.
In addition to that, I mean, we're operating on limited information, so we're unfamiliar with, what's the violence in the area, is there a possibility that it will be stolen, what's the geography, so we were unsure of that. But if there was a way to combat those conditions, then this could theoretically be a useful mechanism.
Other questions? Yeah. So, here's what's going through my mind. Can the solution to this problem really be this simple? And I'm not finding a reason why it actually can't be, as long as you have a central distribution point. And because this is kind of a super low-tech solution, right? It's insulated backpacks. This is, and this could be made in scale, could be made in a few dollars each, right? And so there is something in terms of cultural behavior, so that people just carry backpacks, and when they're going from place to place, they just get into the habit of, maybe in those meningitis months, they're just transporting stuff. So I really like the simplicity of it. I'm thinking,
And
wow,
also,
that,
when I was talking to Joe,
yeah.
he said that the 3 days was, you're under the assumption that the 3 days is like when you're in 42-degree temperature, so that's really hot. But if you insulate it, and if you can bring it down to say 25, you have a week to be able to deliver the vaccines, assuming that you're in that 25 range.
And also depending on back to the versatility of the backpack, you could also get it in a car to the extent that you can drive a car somewhere, then throw it on a bike for the extent that you can get a bike,
Like
so it would work with whatever mode of transportation you're using, and then change mode of transportation as,
As needed.
transportation A becomes ineffective.
So what might be next steps to make sure that, we haven't missed something crucial that really is a solution as simple as having thousands or hundreds of thousands of insulated backpacks that, WHO, whoever provide. What would we do next on this to actually, so it doesn't end here? What do you think is the next point?
I think setting up medical centers at communal spaces.
We could look out to various charities that already operate in the area and see if they would be interested in the idea, and then go from there.
I think a immediate next step would just be to photograph this, maybe in the video, and send it to Sanofi. Say, does this have legs? Did we miss something? Right? Does this make sense? And you may actually have a very simple way to combat a very complex problem, which no one has thought about because everyone's been stuck in the mindset of large refrigerated containers. But I think what comes out from it, the key that you found is actually that temperature range is something that can be managed in a backpack, right? And the fact that there's a little bit more latitude in the cold chain than as presented in the problem that emerged in the conversation of Sanofi, right?
Yeah, we could draft like a small little report type thing and send it over.
A one-pager would be excellent. So would you folks take on the task of writing up a one-pager? And then I will, yeah?
When does it due?
Depending on your, take the next couple of days and then
We'll
get
get
that
it
done.
done, don't
Do we
worry
have
about
your
it.
contact
Classic
information?
color sheet.
Do what?
Can we have your contact information?
You have it in the multiple emails that I've been sending you.
And who in particular would we be emailing with this idea?
If you send it to me, then I'll make sure it gets shepherded in the right way through Sunan and Susan and everybody, right? So I'll do a first review. So take a photograph of your storyboard, take a photograph of the process, put it into your report, right? And do